that was another issue.
About that, the thing is that there were other players, but Kodak is, as you say, is a lens and film producer. It's not a consumer electronic producer. So I reckon it was difficult. It was hard for Kodak to compete with those other players.
Well, yes, Kodak had difficulty competing with electronics companies. And here's something, and this is probably a general statement around any kind of a discontinuity like this. There's the technology that's coming to bear that is going to displace the existing technology. Then there's the problem you're trying to solve. And here's the interesting story about Kodak. Kodak was not an electronics company and was trying to develop capability, but was clearly behind a lot of other companies. Mm-hmm. However, they knew more about the problem to be solved than any of those companies.
Yeah.
So, for example, if during the early 1980s, Sony announced a camera technology, the trade name is called Mavica, but it was really a small 2-inch disc that where you recorded video frames, 2 video frames. Mm-hmm. It was a modified version of what they used for VCRs, and they said that was going to take over the photographic world. That was their idea of an electronic camera, and indeed it was an electronic camera. It used charge-coupled devices or electronic imagers, and it would record it on a rotating disc, and the pictures were viewable on a TV set. The problem was they were really inferior to any photographic process that we had. Even the worst film we had was way better than that, and it could never get any better because they were stuck with the format that they had. So Kodak realized that whatever's going to happen during the 1980s in terms of electronic imaging, it was going to revolve around the personal computer, which was coming to market at that time, not the television set. And you see, Sony was stuck on trying to make the problem like what they knew how to solve, which was television signals.
Yeah.
Same thing for Canon. And so most of the effort that they put into those still video floppies ended up going nowhere.
Yeah.
And we identified that in the early 80s. I remember doing the analysis on the signal processing that they had to use. And I knew it would never work. So we knew we were working on the right aspect of the problem because we knew a lot about photography and what people accepted as still photography and how good it had to be in terms of quality and reliability and cost. And I believe that our competitors that knew more about the technology that was coming was trying to make it look like a problem they knew how to solve rather than the problem they had to solve. So this was an interesting thing. This is why Kodak, in the end, ended up defining most of the attributes of digital photography. Most. This might surprise you to know that most of the just about all the companies that I know of that are in the digital camera business today or have been in the past few years, all of the cell phone manufacturers that have cameras on their phones now, all of them have licensed Eastman Kodak intellectual property around digital cameras. All of them. And that's because we knew a lot about the problem and we defined the solution around that, even though the solution
but you interpreted that like that is the real reason of the demise of Kodak.
Yeah. If you want some more of this, subscribe. If you like it, press like. But we prefer if you subscribe. All right. And plus, on top of that, if you don't want him in the country anymore, definitely subscribe.
Yeah.